Hey guys, it's Lacey here from the Content Direction Agency, and this is your weekly content debrief. 15 minutes or less of actionable content marketing information you can use. If you are here hanging out with me live today, please give me a like or a comment or put a funny GIF in the comments. I always like those. And if you're checking me out on the replay, please do the same because it actually helps with the algorithm to show it to more people and make sure that the people who want to see it are seeing my stuff. So this week, I read an article from the website Boing Boing. If you're not familiar with it, it's pretty cool. And it was all about how ad blockers are growing in popularity. And I wish I'd pulled it up before I started this because they had some really impressive stats about how many people, how many adults in the US in particular are using ad blockers. And what it was talking about was the fact that digital display advertising, when it started, like every website had these flashing banners and everything everywhere. And in fact, if you go to like blogs or websites where that's their business model, advertising is how they make their money, you'll still see these flashing banners and ads that pop up and scroll and follow you all over the website. They're still there all the time. But the problem is that because it's annoying and people don't really like it, and to Boing Boing's point that people, the companies are using it without our permission, right? They're tracking us and doing things like that without our permission. There have popped up these third-party software ad blockers that will block ads block you from seeing them and block them from tracking you. And it got me to thinking about the fact that this is just another evolution in how the web works, how the internet works. And as marketers, we have to be really savvy about watching these trends. And it reminded me of a few years ago when Facebook all of a sudden changed its algorithm. And businesses that used to see like double-digit organic engagement rates, it just plummeted. It fell off a cliff because Facebook changed the algorithm about who was going to see your posts and how many business posts would show up in your feed and so on and so forth. And I actually know of businesses that completely tanked because they were relying on organic reach through Facebook, right? To reach their people. And of course, Facebook wanted to get people to buy ads, and that's how they were going to make money. So organic reach tanked for business owners. The problem with that is that these business owners didn't see the writing on the wall in terms of, how the internet was going to change, how the platform where they had built their content marketing hub was going to change. And so when it did change, their business was screwed, if you'll pardon my French, because the point being that they had built their entire business on one distribution model, right? On making sure that Facebook was their main distribution model and how they ran their business. And when you put all your marketing eggs in one basket like that, if the bottom falls out, you have an omelet whether you wanted it or not, right? So this whole the story that I was reading about ad blockers, it got me to thinking because I don't know about you, but I use an ad blocker online, and I also use a second specific one to block Facebook ads. I use an extension on Facebook. Hang on, I'll tell you what it's called. Oh, it's called Social Fixer. I use an extension in Chrome called Social Fixer that will block Facebook ads from my feed. It doesn't work on my phone, unfortunately, but when I'm looking at it on my computer, which is usually when I'm doing business stuff, it blocks all the ads from my feed. And I got to thinking about the fact that even if other people I know aren't particularly using an ad blocker on Facebook, lots of higher level business owners that I am friends with, that I know, are choosing to opt out from Facebook personally. So they're not spending a ton of time on there. So if you're trying to reach those kinds of people, if you're trying to reach internet savvy people who understand how ad blockers work, if you're trying to reach higher level business owners, the trend is already happening, right? That you're not going to be able to reach those people with the same frequency and efficacy and cost that you used to be able to. And Not to mention the fact that over the last few years, we've seen prices for Facebook ads pretty much skyrocket, right? You guys know that I'm friends with Bond, the ad strategist, and I saw on her Facebook page the other day, she was like, if you're looking for 12-cent clicks and conversions, 2004 called, and they want their advertising strategy back. You can't get it these days for less than, depending on your niche, right? I mean, we're paying $1 or more, up to $4, $5, $6 for a click and a conversion. So you're not seeing those like 12-cent a click ad rates anymore either. The point of all this is that whether you're just starting out or whether you're a more sophisticated marketer, you have to be sure that whatever you're doing is a little bit diversified, right? Because you know that I see behind the scenes and under the hood, so to speak, in lots of different businesses, online businesses, and a lot of them are relying solely on or very, very heavily on Facebook ads to drive traffic to fill the top of their funnel. That's fine if it works for you until it doesn't anymore, right? Because at some point, things are going to change again. Facebook is not out there to help you be in business. Facebook is out there to help Facebook be in business. So prices are probably going to continue to go up. They may change the rules. They may change how the algorithm works. Point being, if that's your only method of putting leads in the top of your funnel, you may be really in deep chicken poo-poo if you put all your eggs in that basket. If and when something changes. And so this article by Boing Boing really got me thinking about the fact that advertising in general, it's not going away. Let's be realistic. We've had advertising since practically the dawn of time. It's just going to change a little bit. But if you're relying on it right now, are you going to survive that change when and if it happens, right? Is your marketing funnel, is your marketing strategy going to survive if Facebook ads or display advertising of any sort online were to go away or to change drastically, right? So you have to ask yourself, is my content strategy built so that I'm creating my own content hub, my own funnel, my own way of generating leads? Or is it built just to rely on somebody else's, right? I know I've talked about this before, but years ago, Brian Clark of Coffee Blogger coined the term digital sharecropping. And that's when you're building your platform on somebody else's land, right? So whether that's Facebook, Medium, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, I don't care where you're at. If that's the only place you're at and it's not something you own the data, you own the followers, you can take it with you, that's not a good choice, right? I've had people come to me, customers and clients, and ask me, is it okay if I just build a blog on Instagram? Can't I just do Instagram? That's where I like to be. And I'm like, yes, that's fine, but it depends on your goals, right? If you only ever want to be on Instagram, okay, but what happens if Instagram changes the algorithm, which they have done? What happens when your follower count drops dramatically or you can't reach the same people you used to reach anymore? Will your business take a big hit? If the answer is yes, then it's not that I don't want you to be on Instagram at all or Facebook or do digital advertising or whatever it is. I want you to consider, how can I create my own platform on my website, on my email list? Because even if ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or MailChimp goes out of business tomorrow, the likelihood is that I can take all my contacts with me and move somewhere else, right? Those email addresses belong to me because I've collected them. I can't take my Facebook followers with me. I can't take my Instagram likes with me, right? I definitely can't take my ad retargeting audiences with me if Facebook all of a sudden says, no, we're not going to let you buy those ads anymore. Or those ads that you were buying for $3 or $4, they're now $50, right? No. So you just have to make sure that your strategy includes creating that base that's something you own, you control, and you can take with you whenever you want. And so that probably includes a blog. It definitely includes your website, right? It probably includes a blog or like videos hosted on your own page or podcast content, audio content hosted on your own page. iTunes is awesome. It's a distribution channel. If iTunes suddenly went away for some reason, not that it's going to, but if it changed or went away, how would you get new podcast listeners? Where would you send them? right? So we have to diversify a little bit. And so I guess my point for this week's content debrief is just to ensure that your content, your marketing platform that you're building is at least a little bit diversified, not relying on one source of traffic or one source of distribution and promotion. And B, that you're building your content hub somewhere that you control it. Because the worst thing in the world would be like, you built a business on MySpace and then everybody's like, man, MySpace is over, I'm done, right? That would suck in a big way. The same thing could happen to any of these platforms. Don't assume that Facebook is too big to fail. Don't assume that LinkedIn will be around forever. Don't assume that Instagram is going to continue the same way it's always continued, right? Even Google, our benevolent overlords at Google, could change the rules for advertising. They change the rules for SEO all the time, right? If you're relying on a page 1 ranking for SEO to drive traffic, get ready, because the next time they change their algorithm, you could see your traffic tank in a big way, right? We've all seen this if you've been around for any amount of time. So the point is, you don't want to be relying on a single source of traffic, a single source of promotion, and you definitely don't want to be building your marketing platform on somebody else's digital land. That's my rant for this week. I wrote about it on the blog. If you want to check it out, you can go to lacyboggs.com/blog to see the newest blog post. And I would love to know your thoughts about this. Like, are you going to change your strategy? Have you found that you're relying too heavily on a particular, I've got something in my eye. If you're relying too heavily on a particular promotion or distribution channel, I would love to know about it, because I think this is a fascinating topic that I don't hear people talking about enough. And so I'm just really interested, has this ever crossed your mind before? Have you done anything in the past to diversify after an algorithm like kicked you in the booty? Have you started anything new? If you do rely on Facebook ads, are you worried about ad blockers or anything like that? I'd love to continue the conversation in the comments. So if you have a thought, please let me know. Also, if you liked this video, if you thought it was interesting, I would love it if you would share it with your colleagues, because that's how more people learn about me and what we're doing over here at the Content Direction Agency. All right, I will be back here next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, which is noon Mountain Time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. New York time. I will catch you here next week. Talk to you later. Bye.